Welcome back to the second half of the show where we celebrate the Gold and Grand Prix winners. There are 19 gold winners out of a total of 45 winners. And I'll turn it over to Brendan now so he can tell you what it takes to win a gold.
This is our gold category. Gold winners are among the highest rated case studies with scores in the 90s. The immediate impact combined with a seamless understanding of insights, strategy, tactics, and results are truly worthy of world-class standards.
And our first gold award goes to Finish from Reckitt for their water index from Havas, Turkey. There is a misconception that we all have an endless supply of water in our world. Just because it was always there doesn't mean it always will be. Finish dishwasher cleaner from Reckitt is dedicated to being a purpose-led brand, and the aim of the Finish Water Index is to put issues of consumption into perspective. Let's watch.
Now the dollar is fighting to kick
Eurozone debt crisis
is the only asset in the world.
The dollar is strong.
Euros and dollars, oil and gold. This is what we value. This is what we don't. Water. 3/4 of the earth is water, yet the usable amount is a sixth in 100,000. Besides, rainfall is decreasing as population, pollution, and consumption is increasing. If more scarce means more valuable, oil is no match for water, or absence of gold kills no one in 3 days. Water is our most undervalued resource. But to give it perspective, if it has to be compared with gold, we thought, then so be it. Introducing Finish Water Index. Together with our most respectable bank, we devised an index that shows water's true worth. Reserves, forecasts, industrial, agricultural, and domestic consumption all go into a regularly computed formula. Currently, the index is at 86, below 70, and we're water poor. Above 100, we're safe. Water Index was launched at the stock exchange.
Finish Su Endeksi
kampanyası.
Now it's everywhere. News, economy talks, ticker tapes, radio shows, newspapers, and online sites. The index is the idea and the result, and it is here to stay till we grasp what really matters. Euros and dollars, oil and gold, and finally, water.
Well, Finish has certainly succeeded in showing us how the power of communications can do some good in the world. And now for our next gold, we go to Canada and to Chek with their campaign called Leveraging the Love and the Hate from Touché. Now let's take a look at how Canadian retailer Chek.
One thing is for sure, during Black Friday, consumers love and live for steep discounts. At the same time, they also hate and dread the shopping experience that goes with it. During the 2019 holiday season, both retailers and consumers had a common enemy, time. As Black Friday was 6 days later than previous years, this meant that consumers had fewer days to shop before Christmas. Consumers were that much more outspoken about their feelings through online comments and research. With 1 week less in the calendar, the love-hate relationship was in full swing. So how did Chek, the leading sports retailer in Canada, step up and make sure consumers had the best shopping experience possible? By simply lending our ears. We quickly noticed that consumers were very vocal about their love for sought-after products as much as their hate for bad shopping experiences. By using a combination of different listening tools, we were able to lend our ears and hear what consumers are saying or researching, including real-time trend queries tool, Google Analytics, web scraper on competitive sites, and TweeterDeck, a social listening platform. The strategy was simple. We zeroed in on a consumer need, whether it was good or bad, matched it with a Chek offer, and pushed that offer to market in a real-time manner. By doing so, we increased our sales and solved all types of problems for shoppers, a win-win situation for both consumers and Chek. Through this procedure, we were able to find both consumer love and hate, and by combining this data, we were able to craft in real-time personalized messages that answered to both. In a few minutes, tailored creatives were deployed across Facebook and Instagram, targeting targeting custom audiences that had high interest in these beloved products. The same strategy was executed in SEM by leveraging keywords associated with loved products and bad experiences. This strategy yielded impressive results as it allowed Chek to grow total sales by 56% year-over-year during Black Friday weekend. In addition, our reactive activations delivered a return on investment that is 70% higher on sought-after products and 59% on solutions for bad experiences.
This strategy yielded impressive results as it allowed Chek to grow total sales by 56% year-over-year during the Black Friday weekend. And now for our next gold, we go to the US to Epic Games Store and their campaign called The Vault by Havas Media. Gaming has certainly been growing before the pandemic as well as during. This, though, is an extraordinary, fully integrated digital approach to a 4-week campaign for Epic Games, which delivered new levels of growth. Let's take a quick look at some of their tactics.
In the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic, which forced millions to stay at home, we were tasked with helping Epic Games build their store brand, accelerate growth, and challenge the market leader Steam on a global scale. So, we went bold and launched The Vault, an unprecedented 4-week campaign that consisted of a series of weekly free game giveaways that included some of the industry's biggest game franchises, and let people keep them forever. Wow! That's amazing. To get the word out to our global audience, we created a 100% digital, meaningful media experience and tailored it to the 20 countries and cultures we were speaking to. We went to the places we knew our audience would be, hitting them with eye-catching call-to-action videos on social platforms, connected TV, and YouTube. On Imager, we increased positive brand perception by removing ads for the day, making our offer unmissable.
Not only did Epic Games garner 22 million total new site visitors among core markets, but they saw a 648% increase in new users versus the same period last year. For our next goal, let's turn to the UK for Timberland and their execution called Concrete Green with Loyle Carner from PhD UK. Hip-hop artist Loyle Carner grew up in the concrete jungle of London's Croydon, but he has been active in urban greening, or the regeneration of rundown city areas through garden landscape design to create green spaces for the local community. Timberland saw an opportunity to channel both its hip-hop heritage and its sustainability roots with the new Eurosprint Trekker boots, made of eco-friendly materials like rebottle fabric, which is made from recycled plastic, and better leather, recognized for its sustainable production methods. Loyle's Green Journey became an MTV primetime series sponsored by Timberland, along with a 2-part TV series on YouTube called Timberland Presents Concrete Green with Loyle Carner. Not only did sales of the Eurosprint Trekker increase by 258%, but 76% of people said that the program changed their opinion of Timberland as a brand. Now for our next gold, we go to the US for Starcom's execution of Dance Awesome for Samsung. Now you may have heard that the smartphone category has peaked. Samsung, though, has proved otherwise. They understood that Gen Z was key to making a brand connection for Samsung's Galaxy A series. And most of us know by now that Gen Z doesn't want to be sold to. They want to be connected with. Let's watch how Samsung achieved this, while also touting the Galaxy A's 3 main product benefits. Let's watch.
A Peloton? Gen Z's got a pretty low tolerance for advertising bull.
Who comes up with this?
So to promote the new Samsung Galaxy A to a generation that has turned their backs on Samsung, we didn't make another bull ad. We figured if Gen Z's on their phone 24/7, 3 things matter: an awesome screen, awesome camera, and long-lasting battery life. And so, we enlisted the help of K-pop band Blackpink to make an original track with those exact words and zero bull.
Awesome screen, awesome camera, long-lasting battery
and a
life.
dance.
Awesome screen, awesome camera, long-lasting battery life.
turning what older gens called a jingle into what Gen Z calls a challenge on their favorite hangout spot.
For those of you over 35, TikTok is an app where people post short, funny videos.
Of you doing fun stuff like lip syncing to a song or a movie clip or acting out a silly scene with your friends.
We dropped the Dance Awesome Challenge, and TikTokers answered day after day after day. 4 million user videos to be specific. That's more than 1 million minutes of people dancing about the Galaxy A's features. I mean, everyone knows Gen Z makes a ton of content, but who would have guessed they'd make this many ads for the Galaxy A? People even created content about the content, like dance tutorials and animations.
Awesome screen, awesome camera, long-lasting battery life.
So catchy.
Which meant social conversations about Samsung increased 19-fold, and purchase intent for the Galaxy A went through the roof. Dance Awesome has garnered over 16 billion views to date, making our song the most played song on the platform, and more than Yummy by Justin Bieber that launched the same week on Spotify. Sound unbelievable? Go over to TikTok and see for yourself. And while you're there, you'll notice that Samsung didn't just get a few new followers, they became one of the most popular brands on TikTok.
Dance with us. Long-lasting battery life.
Our next gold winner is Ally Bank for the Ally Animal Crossing by MediaCom. An innovator in the digital banking space, Ally Bank is a brand that cares about bringing financial literacy to its customers. Ally wanted to bring the brand to life in a new way and reach their COVID quarantined customers with a never-done-before approach. The pandemic was pushing video games to record highs. Animal Crossing New Horizons was providing the #1 refuge for COVID-battled consumers. Not only had the game sold 22 million copies to a strongly millennial audience, but there was an even split of male and female players, making it the perfect destination for the Ally message of smarter money management. In Animal Crossing, players earn bells by completing tasks. They can then use these bells to buy clothing, equipment, and home upgrades. Ally created Ally Island, where bells work smarter. At the center is Ally's Turnip Exchange, where players could trade their hard-earned turnips for 1,000 bells apiece. The goal is to sell them to the raccoons who run the game's retail outlets for as much as possible before the turnips spoil at the end of the week. Animal Crossing was making finance fun and bringing Ally's brand promise to life in an authentic, culturally relevant, and well-received way, proving to millennials that Ally is truly the smarter way to bank. And they enjoyed a 320% spike in account openings. And now let's go from the virtual world of Animal Crossing to the real world of the Canadian mountains with a program from Touché for Ski-Doo that created impressive results. Let's watch.
The clouds are moving in. You're gonna have to hustle.
We need to get off.
Ski-Doo presents Escape Mountain, the world's most extreme escape room, where 5 pro snowmobile riders are in a race to escape an ever-present snowstorm.
Wow, that doesn't sound very good.
In North America, no one shops for Ski-Doos until the first snow hits the ground. And with snow coming later and later in the year, we saw the opportunity to get our target audience thinking about us before the competition. Rather than investing our budgets in reactionary promotional offers late into the season, like the competition, we went all in, early. The result was Escape Mountain by Ski-Doo, a 4-month fall campaign at the center of which was a 45-minute primetime documentary on the Discovery Channel in the USA and Canada. To drive viewers, we first released teasers to the Ski-Doo fanbase on social media. It got quite a reaction. Everyone wanted to know when the full documentary would come out. After its original broadcast in primetime, the show was then cut down to shorter videos for Ski-Doo's website, YouTube, and programmatic videos building specific audiences for the next phase. Then, as soon as the first snowflakes hit the ground, we switched our digital ads to be more product-focused to drive traffic to retailers when our target audience were ready to buy. This wasn't simple, as each US and Canadian region has its specific weather patterns. It was a courageous marketing move to proactively invest in a content strategy and bet against the sales seasonality. But it paid off. Market share increased 5.8% and sales increased 18%, while our competitors' sales decreased. Escape Mountain created a new model for demand, with or without snow.
Our next gold goes to McDonald's Deutschland, again, for their Summer Lovin' campaign. And we're going to show a video on this, but the thing that's amazing are the results. This was a mobile campaign, and even amid a pandemic, these results were staggering. More than 850 app installs were generated, which represented an increase of 67% compared to the pre-campaign period. And the campaign also exceeded all expectations at the checkout by well over 100%. So let's take a look.
In summer 2020, a lot of relationships came to an end. Megan Fox and Brian Austin Green, Cara Delevingne and Ashley Benson, and even Dirty Dancing star Jennifer Grey broke up with her husband after 19 years of marriage. Should McDonald's and its customers also meet this fate? During the coronavirus lockdown, McDonald's stores were closed, and even the McDonald's app downloads dropped to an annual low. The lack of closeness risked the love between McDonald's and their customers to fail. Almost. We just had to come up with an idea to reignite the love of our customers to get back on their smartphone's home screen. We know from surveys that our customers' loyalty is based on their love for a very specific product. But how can we identify it in a mass of products available at McDonald's? Easy. With the Summer Week promotion that offered daily attractive products exclusively available in the McDonald's app, accompanied by a two-phase model that combined market research and advertising within a mobile-only campaign. First, we found out everything about the product preferences of our target group with a simple yet effective swiping method, from every single dating platform. Then we clustered the preferences by grouping the people behind the votes to target them with their favorite products. But how did this affect their relationship? They were happily ever after. Now we know for sure, McDonald's and its customers, it must be real love.
And our next gold goes to JetBlue for their Healthcare Heroes program. And this was coordinated by FairShare, Medialab, Mullen, Lowe, and Promosis. The beauty of the Healthcare Heroes program is that it came from the very heart of the company. The JetBlue crew members asked senior management to donate tickets to allow healthcare workers to take a well-deserved break anywhere within the JetBlue network when they felt ready to fly again. In my trends opening at the beginning of the show, I mentioned how speed in adapting to digital and innovative ideas was a hallmark of these winners during the pandemic. So within 2 weeks, the FairShare team created 47 social media assets and delivered one of the most successful JetBlue campaigns of all time, where the earned media impact delivered 32 times the impact of the paid media investment. Let's take a look.
JetBlue wants to join everyone in saying thank you to our healthcare heroes. I want to thank my aunt for her dedicated service as a nurse.
My little sister, Bethany, she works as a nurse in Monterey.
My college friend Thurlow at Emory Hospital in Atlanta.
Thank you to you. You are the real heroes.
All the first responders in my family that are healthcare workers and police officers.
I'd like to thank all the nurses and doctors that have come into contact with me here at the gate in Boston, that are going to cities far from home to care for people that really need it.
Day in and day out, doctors and nurses and many, many more across the medical field are taking care of us.
Now it's our turn to say thank you.
Thank you.
Merci en pile.
Gracias a todos.
By giving away 100,000 pairs of round-trip flights. to our healthcare workers
so they can take a vacation when the time is right.
That's where we need your help.
We need your help.
We need your help.
We need your nominations.
Go to jetblue.com/healthcarehero to nominate your healthcare hero, and they could receive round-trip flights for 2.
It's amazing to me that an airline, which represented such a hard-hit sector during COVID, could also be so generous. And if you're curious about the follow-up on those healthcare heroes who used the tickets, there's a very moving series in the works, as many went to other places in need to help out. And now let's turn to our next goal. We move from supporting healthcare heroes to supporting local business with an effort from Scotiabank Canada and PhD. Scotiabank, one of the largest financial institutions in Canada, learned that only 22% of small business owners felt that their banks were very helpful in their support. Local communities always come first for small business owners. And while people may appreciate Scotiabank's sponsorship of big professional sports leagues, it was the local sponsorship of the neighborhood arena that people remembered most. Scotiabank had to quickly foster local connections. Operation Local Support rallied local communities through local media by requesting suggestions for businesses that needed some extra love. Thanks to the participation of 56 communities, Scotiabank developed over 8,500 pieces of custom content integrations featuring local small businesses. All those selected were given media exposure free of charge to help drive awareness of their businesses in their communities. As a result of the campaign, Scotiabank saw a 53% lift in positive brand perception, while 45% of small business owners believed that Scotiabank was there to support them. Plus, new accounts also increased. And now we move to our next goal, which is from Spain. It's for Alimentos de España, or Foods of Spain, from SomosSapiens. While we associate healthcare heroes and the fate of small business with the impact of COVID, we sometimes forget the sweeping effect it had on other industries, particularly in some of the countries of Europe that were ravaged by the virus. Here's a heartwarming case of how Spain helped to raise the importance of its farmers and fishermen and the significance of its local agri-food sector. Let's watch. After the program, 70% of Spaniards stated that they were feeling proud of Spain, its gastronomy, and the local Mediterranean diet. Now for our next goal, let's go to the US and Pandora's Unusual Mother's Day for 2020 by Cara. Mother's Day is traditionally one of Pandora's biggest in-store sales periods. With COVID-19 shutting down stores across the country, they knew it would be different. As consumer habits changed and e-commerce picked up speed, Pandora Jewelry's strategy pivoted to digital only to capture their core audiences, male gifters and the female hinters in their life. Pandora created a full funnel approach for the holiday, triggering gifters and hinters into planning the perfect isolated Mother's Day, which wound up not only surpassing expectations during an incredibly tough period for retail, but solidified the importance of e-commerce for Pandora moving forward. Just to give you a quick example, new dynamic creative led to a 104% improvement in Facebook performance. And again, without an in-store offering, Mother's Day was a huge success, to the point that Pandora's revenue goals were exceeded by 237%. And now for our next gold, we look at Uber for a campaign by MediaCom called Move What Matters. When your service is all about moving people, what do you do when people aren't allowed to move? You take a stance, boycott your own product, and then find a way to help. Let's watch. Uber experienced the highest impression score to date and highest reputation score for the past 4 years. Move What Matters became the launch of an ethos at Uber. Take a stand, take action, have an impact, and make a difference. And it has and continues to run through all subsequent campaigns, such as No Mask, No Ride, and if you tolerate racism, delete Uber. And now for our next gold, we go to Spain for a very interesting case study from Bank Inter, created by Havas. But let me just set this up for you, as there are multiple layers to the Bank Inter effort. Bank Inter was a mid-sized Spanish bank that invested little in advertising, but rose to become the country's second most visible bank during the pandemic through an idea known as Bank Inter, the bank that sees your money just like you do. The goal was to express 3 concepts: trust in banking and an honorable approach to brand building, respect for people's money, and effort, acknowledging the effort and work performed to earn money. During the pandemic, when Spain was hit hardest, a commercial embodying these concepts aired nationally and became an anthem, even though it ran for just 10 days to avoid ad fatigue, which is something we're seeing a little bit more of these days. We'll share that commercial with you now, but keep in mind that because of these efforts, the visibility of Bank Inter grew by nearly 1,000% during the second week of the campaign. The bank rose on Spain's total brand visibility ranking from number 337 to 50. It became the second most visible bank behind Santander. And despite the impact of COVID, online customer acquisition grew by double digits. Let's take a look.
They say that life will never slow down, it just keeps on moving forward. But if we just hit the brakes, we might discover what's important. Money makes the world go round, a phrase that is renowned. But what really matters is to stay alive and grow old. For all those who are gone and have given us their dreams, we will have to lend a hand and sharpen our feet, 'cause there is no other way. Never stopped while others gave up hope. what spring was like.
Today, more than ever, your bank needs to recognise who will really help the country get back on its feet. That's why Bankinter is lowering the income limit to €800 to be eligible for our highest earning accounts.
And now for our next gold, let's watch how Warner Brothers and PhD UK responded to a business that was entirely shuttered during COVID.
As the UK went into lockdown, cinemas were one of the first places to close. For the first time in cinematic history, there were no box office takings for the major studios. To help fill the revenue gap, we helped Warner Brothers drive digital ownership of titles from their extensive home entertainment catalogue. But with VOD platforms spending over £150 million driving subscriptions, we had to compete with our brains, not our budgets. So, we did something no UK advertiser had ever done before. We created a campaign that used real platform data to target audiences based on their current VOD viewing habits. Using viewing data derived directly from Amazon Prime Video, we were able to pull creative assets directly from Amazon into ads across Google, social media, and of course, Amazon itself. Contextual targeting with no creative constrictions. For binge watchers, we served ads for franchises like The Hobbit and Harry Potter. Using more microdata, we helped action fans bridge the gap between the first John Wick, which was available on VOD, and John Wick 3, which was newly released for rental, by promoting John Wick 2. We could even change the titles featured to reflect entertainment news stories. Our data allowed us to determine which titles delivered the most revenue, minimizing discounting and leading to the majority of sales being made at full retail.
Our next gold goes to Kia and Canvas Worldwide for the launch of the Kia K5. Kia proved the value of great content, even as car showrooms closed throughout the pandemic and as people reassessed their driving needs. The launch of the Kia K5 offered drivers a turbocharged alternative to the bland sedan. So adrenaline-fueled, hair-raising stunts were a great antidote to hours of video conference calls, pandemic news watching, and socially distanced time killers. And while every automaker has done a stunt or two, often carefully choreographed to the last detail, this was done live in front of hundreds of thousands of viewers and at great risk. The triple threat stunt launched 2 cars off a ramp while a third slid into a 180-degree spin under them simultaneously. The live stream video was hosted by a professional driver, and we'll show it to you shortly. This also, though, inspired Kia to create other custom integrations with professional drivers, such as a driver who delivered trophies to all Emmy winners who were watching the award show live broadcast from home. This turned out to be one of Kia's best campaigns ever, which also converted to significant sales even during a pandemic. Again, let's take a look.
To the auto industry that's been churning out sleepy sedans, we have a brief announcement to make. Yawnfest has been canceled.
Our next gold goes to Bank of the West and Wavemaker USA for the Take Climate Action Program. For years, Bank of the West lagged behind peer banks in new acquisition, especially in a competitive market like California. They were outspent and lacked a distinctive voice in the market. To change that, the bank launched a new brand positioning around sustainable financing. The bank joined forces with 1% for the Planet to launch the first checking account of its kind, designed to empower consumers to take climate action. From every account opened, the bank donates 1% of net revenues generated to support environmental nonprofits. Consumers can also track the carbon footprint of their purchases via the Bank of the West banking app, which is also a first in the US. The 1% for the Planet checking account launch is a strong example of how product innovation can drive distinctiveness in brand and inspire more integrated marketing efforts across PR, social, digital acquisition, and brand advertising. This led to a new high in consideration levels for Bank of the West, and despite a pandemic year, the bank achieved 112% of their acquisition goal in account openings, thanks to the 1% for the Planet campaign. And now let's go to our next gold for Aldi and PhD Germany, called the Edgy Veggie Way. Here's another very different example of sustainability in action, this time with digital out-of-home screens and the optimization of visitor traffic. Let's watch. This innovative campaign raised awareness of vegan diversity through the intelligent use of geo-behavioral data, optimized in real time based on store visit data. The average store visit rate was increased by this campaign by 14.5%, which is an extraordinary feat, given that comparable campaigns in food retailing without such a mechanism lead to no more than a 4.5% increase. So congratulations. And now for our last gold. And this goes to Lego and Media Plus Germany. And I would simply say that our last gold needs no introduction. Enjoy the video, and may the force be with you.
The Force. In the Star Wars universe, it can move objects with sheer willpower. To promote the new LEGO Star Wars sets, along with the launch of the latest Star Wars movie, we also used the Force. In movie theaters all over Germany, we gave fans the chance to physically experience the Force. Promoted on TV and online, fans could discover the Force inside themselves and fight each other in an epic battle. The goal? Rebuild the ship as quickly as possible and win against your opponent. We developed the Force AI, a machine learning algorithm which for the first time measures several factors via image recognition and combines them. Gesture control, muscle tension, facial recognition to measure concentration, and even heart rate measured via changes in skin color. With 15 measurements per second, the algorithm generates an individual Force score. The higher the score, the faster the ship is rebuilt. The player with the higher Force level wins. And the Force was strong with us.
And the Force was with Lego. Not only did the social media film generate extraordinary earned media value and many, many millions of impressions, but the Lego sets were sold out across Germany within just a few days. And that's our final gold winner. Congratulations to all. And now for our very last award, the Grand Prix. I'll turn it over to Brendan again to describe the criteria of a Grand Prix winner, and then I'll let him introduce our Grand Prix presenter from the ANA.